Good morning and welcome to Herb Oracle Podcast, botanical divination with herbs, essences, flowers, and trees with your host, Herbal Marie. Let's start the day off pulling some oracle cards and getting a few messages. We can shoot the shiitake in a spiritual way-ish. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll post a pic of the cards at Herb Oracle. Thanks so much for joining me. Here we go. I am really enjoying my quiet morning here. Just sitting here with my dandelion root tea because I went to ladies' night last night, so I felt like I should do something nice for my liver today. And I'm just looking out the window watching these birds. They're on the top of the church that I live beside, and they're just jumping off the ledge. And then about halfway in their descent, then they just start to swoop, like they just have this free fall and then into a swoop and a fly, like they swoop and then start flying off. But I thought that must be nice to have that much trust. Like it must be fun to be a bird and just hop off the ledge, enjoy the free fall for a sec, and then just fly away, little birdie. Like, birds are awesome. I love watching them. I love listening to them. I appreciate them. So anyways, what's up? I got the house to myself today. Didn't see that coming. Thank you. So I was all worried a couple days ago that I wasn't going to get to record as many Herb Oracle podcasts this week, and I was just sort of ticked off about that. And right when the future ex-husband takes vacation days, you're like, what the heck, you're busting up my flow. But hey, it sometimes works out and you still get the space to yourself. I can be as loud as I want to be. So yeah, I went to ladies' night last night. Definitely had fun. Just hanging out and being silly and I had a veggie hot dog. It was a good time. It was a great time. So, we're going to do a new law today, another law of the universe, which was kind of funny. I glanced through it. It's the law of common ground. So it kind of cracked me up that it was today as I'm basically celebrating. When I woke up and opened the bedroom curtain and saw that my vehicle was the only one in the driveway, I was like, what? Hallelujah, get my quiet morning. It was an amazing feeling. And then today, the law of common ground will be very interesting for me to reflect on after starting my day off like that. So let's just get to it. This is law 12. This is law 12, the law of common ground. So we're going to do that. And then I pulled out the Hedge Witch Botanical Oracle. The Hedge Witch Botanical Oracle by Solo, Siollo, I don't know, Thompson. Because I thought to myself, common ground, right? As you're foraging, as you're walking through, seeing the habitat, there are lots of different types of plants that can cohabitate peacefully. And may we all learn a little bit from that. Okay, so let me just read you this paragraph. And then we'll pull some oracle cards, and then we will continue to sip on our dandelion root tea and have a TGIF. I guess it's Friday. Are you guys screwed up? Does this Friday seem like a Tuesday? Because when a holiday, the 4th of July, Independence Day, is in the middle of the week, it's like that made whatever day that was that just yesterday? Oh yeah, that made yesterday feel like Saturday. So yeah, I guess common sense means that today's Tuesday. All right, well, whatever, girl. Number 12, the law of common ground. This is viewed as a problem-solving approach and is an area where two or more can gather to blend differences. It demands that the area be cleansed of previous energy left by others who historically have passed through or lived on a spot. This is done by two or more sending loving energy to the area for a specified period of time. Cage the area with a gold net and it will stay cleansed of others' energy. You will leave your energy that can be cleansed once you have used this space and are leaving. So, is this really a law of the universe? This is definitely one that, like, my skeptic self is like, okay, I get it, but, like, does this actually qualify as the law of the universe? But it's here. It's in this 105 universal laws that I printed from an unreliable source off the internet, and I'm using as the basis of my podcast for right now. For conversation starter, and because if you're just tuning in, and I have miscreated a lot in my life, so I feel like I could definitely make the effort to tweak my manifestation abilities, right? So I do want to go through these, quote, laws of the universe, because sure as fill in the blank, sure as anything, if there is a way for me to improve my life, I'm doing it. So, I mean, I've tried, I got journals on journals on journals beside me. Like, I have tried many, many, many things and reflections and contemplation. So I'm all about anything new when it comes to my expansion. And when I came across these 105 laws of the universe, I thought, well, I haven't done that yet, so let's do it. So the law of common ground, isn't that hilarious? As I'm waking up and like celebrating, having the space, to myself, it's sort of funny that like the law today is all about blending differences. So, lesson to myself. But yeah, I mean, sometimes I do utilize a lot of incense and smudging to clear the space, right? Because that's just a symbolic act of me sending energy, sending loving energy to the area, my house, to cleanse the energy. Because sometimes, like when there has been some negativity or whatever, or the negativity has left for the day to go to work, I'm like more than ready to light a stick of Nag Champa and just reclaim the space. So this is talking more about like, so maybe you move into a new house, right? Or you buy a property that has a lot of historical energy on it. It's talking about sending loving energy to that area now, to cleanse that previous, we're going way back, that previous energy. And then now cage the area with a gold net. That's probably not something you're going to find at the hardware store. That is something that you just envision. You visualize the area with a gold net around it, like a protective gold net. So I'm just thinking that I could maybe do that with my office space here. Like as I take the smudge and smudge it, and I sit here and I send some loving energy to my space, right? Like when I'm done, then I visualize that gold net going around my desk and going around, my chair, and just kind of creating this sacred energy space, this protected space. Like, this area is where I put my energy and my focus. and I will leave my energy here, imprint on this area, so that when I sit down to create, I feel it, right? I've done that for myself. The space feels clear and good, and now I have a nice view of the lilac bush. So we ready. So the law of common ground is a problem-solving approach, is an area where two or more can gather to blend differences. So that would be amazing if, two people could come together to blend their differences. Interesting. So anyways, funny as all get out for me personally, as I am sharing my living space with my future ex-husband and being roomies with someone that I am learning to blend differences for the time being, for however long it takes for us to get our shit together and figure out what we're doing or not doing or what. But so we're all about energy today. So now you can see why I thought it would be great to grab this deck that's all about foraged plants for the most part. And that you'd see like I have a lot of herb decks, but some plants are from different parts of the world. Whereas this deck, there's a good chance that all of these plants could be growing in a very small area, like a similar landscape. So that's why I thought of this deck, because some of my other decks, like there's plants that, are only going to grow in like a tropical area, or, there's like always like an oddball. But this deck, I'm pretty sure, this Hedgewitch Botanical Oracle, they're just stuff that's like pretty common, like daylilies and I don't know what else, huckleberries, lady's mantle, sage. I'm just flipping through it. Pine, marshmallow, juniper. Juniper, what's up? So we just got juniper yesterday. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay, here we go. I guess I'm not stopping the rolling here. I went to push pause, like there we go, that's our segment, and then I'm like, nah, too lazy. Too lazy. So I did wake up fairly early for having 2 drinks. I had 2 drinks last night, which is one more than I normally have. And I don't normally drink at all, like not one bit, except for a little bit of tincture here and there, like a few drops. So I was ready just to let loose a little bit last night, so I did. They were hard ciders, so just in case you were wondering. Rosé hard ciders. I think like I felt the first one, like I didn't even drink, like I just drank down past the shoulders. There's the neck and the shoulders of the body. It was just right. Like, and I wasn't even halfway down and I was like, holy God. And I laughed a lot, even if no one else was laughing with me, because I just had to get it out, and I was hell-bent on using the night's experience to just let out some sillies. And yeah, I mean, you can definitely drink away your sorrows, or you can go in and drink your silly bitch into a really fun time. So I'm not going to do it that often, of course. I'm going to behave myself. But seeing what I have processed this week, I was like, it's fine. You go, girl. And you know what else was even better for me than the 2 hard drinks was hanging out with ladies, 2 of which, maybe 3, were single and had been single for a long time, and secure in who they were, and not sitting at home thinking like I gotta wait for some man to save me. So it was just like good energy for me to be around and just see how everybody was doing. No, there was more single than that, and then there was one who's in a wonky relationship who really should leave. So hopefully, we all inspire each other to do what's right and to do what's empowering. And yeah, my gosh. So, all right, let me shuffle these one more time. We're doing the law of common ground. We're kind of focused on blending differences and clearing energy and leaving your energy in a space. How do we do that? Send loving energy and cage the area with a golden net. So think about doing that to some of your spaces and just see if, I don't know, see if they feel any different. All right, so let's get a message for all that for Friday, for the weekend. And so funny. Here we go. It's so funny that I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to podcast this week. So worried about it. And then like I totally didn't even miss any. All right, so first card that's fallen out is chicory with sustain. The top card is nettle, tribulation, and the bottom card is borage, courage. So yeah, these guys can all cohabitate in the same backyard for sure. I know that. I have nettle, I have borage. I know chicory would probably come on in too. So sustain, but then we've got tribulation and courage. All right, so let's grab the book because sustain, that's an interesting word. It has the word stain in it. Sustain. Chicory. Now, I see that they're using chicory in a lot of like chicory root in some of these Fiber One bars that you can buy at the grocery store. And they put chicory root now, and there's a yogurt. But I've tried both of them, and they both make me super farty. Like the Fiber One bars should just be called Farty One bars. I don't know. So there's something about chicory root that some people, just be aware. Just be aware. So sustain. So chicory root, it is tasty. Like if you have a herbal coffee, it can be made with dandelion root coffee. I mean, it's good. It's very tasty, but sometimes it doesn't always sit well in my gut. But people love a hot beverage made from chicory root, and you can even eat the young roots. You could fry them up in some butter, and they're a little bit similar to a parsnip flavor. And they've got these sweet little blue flower. And the leaves are edible. And you could probably pop in that flower too. Why not? Let's see here. The oracle property sustain speaks to the usefulness and availability availability of chicory during difficult times. So cows, horses, sheep, rabbits, and even poultry and field fowl take important nutrients from this plant. Chicory is an example of how one organism can sustain others. So I like to think of it in relation to a person's role in a community. You may not always have the best skill set, the right answer, or resources to share, but we can all contribute and support those around us. Sometimes that just means being there in a difficult moment, listening, moving furniture, or simply holding space for others. Do what you can to sustain others, and you will find others will do the same for you. So she relates this card to the Six of Pentacles in the tarot deck, which speaks to charity, community giving, and the need to sustain one another. So that's interesting. So because we're talking about, where two or more people can gather to blend differences. And chicory is all about community. It's all about community and helping sustain others while other people help sustain you. And she says you may find yourself on the giving or receiving end of this equation. So try to handle either position with grace. Interesting. Yeah. So, like what energy are you giving to the space, to the community, right? As we blend differences, how, like, hey, here's the thing. Like, if I'm living in this house, it doesn't matter who the hell my roommates are. I need to remember that it's still, on some level, for sure, creates a community in this house. So, I mean, yeah, even though I kind of like have some disdain for this human being at times right now, I have to really appreciate how he sustains financially this whole operation currently, and in other ways too, like how can I give back? How can I use my skill set to keep this space running and productive and add good energy to it? And yeah, so that's really interesting. That made me like, dang. Yeah, if I ever get quiet, it's because like I got shut up, and now I have quite a bit to like contemplate and think about. And I really do find that interesting that chicory came through with this message, about us taking care of each other, us holding space for each other, just being supportive and listening and respect. It didn't come out and say the word respectful, but I'm hearing it. I am definitely hearing it. So let's skip over to nettle. Now, I relate a lot to nettle. I am nettle, obviously, at times. And it's like, yeah. So I think personally about how I can, I have a lot to give, but then like I keep up borders. But this card is all about tribulation. And I'm not even sure what tribulation means. Like, I don't use that word in my life. So let me just go straight to the oracle message here. So if you ever unwittingly encounter the stinging nettle, you will not soon forget the burning, painful welts it can cause that may plague you for days. This quality gives rise to its oracle property, tribulation. Some species of stinging nettle are so strong they can cause lockjaw or even death. What? I never heard of that. Okay, the very mechanism that causes so much trouble is part of the wonder of this plant. Among the chemicals the plant produces are serotonin, histamine, and oxalic and formic acids. These very substances have powerful applications in pharmacopoeia and are used to treat everything from rheumatism to enlarged prostate. It's also a wonderful food source. It's interesting to see that something that can cause so much pain can also be so useful. So she relates this card to the Tower card from the tarot deck, as well as death. The Tower card from the tarot, as well as death, both speak to tribulation as a catalyzing agent. The things that cause us the most pain can sometimes also be the things that bring out the best in us. Separation, loss, failure, these are all bitter pills to swallow, but can lead to great strength and new opportunity. So, yeah, tribulation. For me personally, of course, it's like there is a way bit, a lot of bit. There's a big chunk of failure energy in this space right now, because it's like definitely the tower has fallen in my marriage, as it's fallen. The rubble's there. but we're still living on the rubble. We're still having a picnic on the rubble for whatever reason. So yeah, it's like this big change that's going to happen. It is kind of hard to swallow, but it's going to lead to new opportunities and strength in a new situation. Maybe one that's not very common, you know, but we're already living in a different type of scenario that's not your average normal thing. I mean, it does happen. Like, people have separate but together lives, I guess. So yeah, tribulation. Now, I never ever heard of stinging nettle causing death. But hey, I mean, maybe I just didn't come across it. But I don't like to get stung by stinging nettle. But I am one of those people that has an overreactive histamine response. For sure. Like, sometimes my skin reacts even to itself. Like, if I'm resting my hand on my knee or an elbow on, you know, like it'll get itchy, like from the friction or whatever. So I just avoid getting stung by stinging nettle. But yeah, she is she's so nourishing. I like to drink her every spring, like just put her in the blender with water and make this powerful green juice. You can dry it for infusions during the winter. You can cook it. You can make soup. You can eat it like spinach. There's a lot of different ways that you can eat it, just for all the vitamin richness and mineral richness of the leaves. And let's see, this says young stinging leaves can be eaten as a cooked vegetable that tastes like spinach. It doesn't taste quite like spinach. It's like earthier. And the vitamin-rich leaves, stems, and roots all take well to drying and cooking. The plant has a vast history of medicinal applications. It can be used to treat painful muscles and joints, eczema, arthritis, gout, anemia. There's a lot of different things. I mean, it just nourishes you, for sure, which is why I planted it on purpose behind the garage, because I don't really want to go out foraging looking for nettles. I just want a lot of them and right there. But I have to keep it in check. I mean, it's expanding each year more and more and more, trying to take over the world. But yeah, it's definitely a great tea to have, a great green juice, and definitely a restorative spring tonic to stimulate the immune system and treat a host of ailments. But yeah, just don't let it sting you. However, I see lots of people getting stung on purpose. They don't mind it at all. So I question the death thing. But she did say some species of stinging nettle. So I don't know. Maybe there's more out there than I realize, which could be. All right, last one before I fall back asleep here. Reading makes me sleepy. All right, and courage. So our last herb here is borage with courage. The herb courage, the herb borage. This is my favorite flower to eat. I have a lot right now. It's just, I love it. I have a lot of borage and a lot of calendula in bloom right now. So let's think about the oracle property of borage, which is courage. So borage is legendary for its spirit lifting and courage inducing properties. Celtic warriors drank wine flavored with borage to give them courage in battle, and the Roman soldiers ate borage leaves and flowers before they went off to fight. Even medieval knights wore scarves embroidered with borage floral patterns for the same reason. It says that you can tuck a borage blossom in your pocket before any stressful situation for a good luck charm, for a courage charm, or drink a tea or glass of wine flavored with borage leaves. I just love to eat the flower. They are so yum. They're so good. It's amazing. You can stand there and pluck, 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 eat, 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 eat. They're yummy. So, drinking borage tea is said to increase psychic powers and relieve symptoms of depression. Many of the noted herbalists throughout history have considered it a very effective antidepressant for the feeling of elation it induces. Place the fresh blossoms on an altar to bring luck and power to your spells. Sprinkle crushed dried leaves around the workplace for inspiration and business expansion. Because of its connections to juniper, this herb is associated with the Hierophant in the tarot deck. So the oracle property is courage, but isn't that interesting that as we're talking about putting a golden net around the space, sending love to the space, here's a spell where you can sprinkle crushed dried borage leaves around your workspace, around your workplace for inspiration and business expansion. I'm going out to the garden right now and getting some borage leaves. So when I'm looking at these cards and thinking about the law of common ground, when we come into a space, the energy is not always perfect, right? It's always not the best case, scenario. There might be a lot of energy there that we don't quite understand. That could be a little bit of a mystery to us. We could also, as the ghost pipe looks up at me from the bottom of the deck, there just might be some stuff going on there that we don't know what happened in the space. So we need to use our magic from, as Lady's Mantle is going to remind me here, we need to use our magic to create a better feeling space for us, no matter where we're at. And by magic, if you're not comfortable with that word, you're like, I don't know no magic. Well, let's use your energy. Your energy is magic. Your energy is magic to create this kind of atmosphere that's conducive for community, that's conducive for your business, that's conducive for your creative potential. And that is going to take courage, especially if there was or is some tribulation going on in your space. So Bearberry comes in now to say, you need strength, okay? Courage and strength to keep on finding that common ground to, because every day, even if you cleanse the energy of the space today, every day here on out, there's going to be a new situation occur. There's going to be people coming in and out of your life. Ooh, what do we got here? Patience. We have more patience coming in with Trout Lily. So it's an ongoing process to clear space. It's an ongoing process to find common ground. And we need patience in our life for things to manifest and for things to happen. And sometimes when you're thinking about how you can help others and be a listening ear and give to the community, you have to have patience with some people. A lot, what's going on there. So we have Wild Rose now. I'm just going through, seeing who else wants to live in this space. We have Wild Rose coming in with clarity and Elder with ritual. So understand that the clarity that we're looking for, let me move you over here, make way for all these beautiful things here. We can get more clarity when we do these rituals of cleansing, right? You don't need to go full-blown witch if you don't want to, but this ritual of sending your loving energy, of making intentions for the space, of making intentions for your day. Maybe it's a ritual of appreciation and gratitude. It's like these things that we do on the daily. That is going to be the things that truly do sustain us and help soothe and problem solve our tribulations. And the rituals do give us strength and courage, because then we start working with our own inner magic. And the last friend that we have coming in today is a fern, which is all about growth, right? As you grow as a person, as you become who you are, as your community grows, as your circle grows, as your business grows, this is all because of the energetic work that you've put in to yourself and your space. So I love that fern is up there because I actually have a fern right now on my kitchen windowsill. When I was walking around the house a couple days ago, there's these cute little ferns that are growing behind the one patch of mugwort. And I was like, and I never see it because it's not on the side of the house that I ever go on. There's no reason to go over there. There's no porch. There's no nothing. But I was like, oh, I wish I need to come around this way more often so I can see you. And then I just felt like, oh, wait, I'm going to take one of you inside of me. So it's actually been really happy for a few days on the windowsill. And it has a message of growth. So even if we are in tribulation, even if it's just a mystery as to what the hell is going on here in our space, in our life, in our situations, it really is all about growth and all about us cultivating inner magic with our inner strength and our inner patience and our inner clarity. So it's all for the expansion of you. All right, so I think what I want to do now, I was going to end there and give us the little spiel for the end, but I just feel like what I want to do is pull out this tiny little deck that I have, this teeny tiny little deck that I have of cards that I ordered from Tina T. Ames. They're called Flower Whispers, and I think it is important for us to have gratitude and appreciation in our life. And most of these are quotes. These are little quotes that are like that, I think, if I remember correctly. But I think I would just maybe 4 affirmation quotes, thoughts to end on. I'm going to do, there's one. I'm not looking at them yet. This is such a tiny deck. It's almost hard to shuffle. But they're cute. It was worth getting it. I think I ordered it off her Etsy shop. Because I wanted more flower inspiration. So these are all kind of hand-drawn, I think, designs that she made. And yeah, okay, here we go. I guess I can't shuffle and talk at the same time today. All right, so let's see what we've got here. We've got meditation doesn't mean you have to sit still. It can be a quiet walk in a garden. So yeah, shout out to the best community around. That's our garden spaces. When we get in there, we can just walk around, look at the plants, touch the plants, feel the plants, smell the plants, just be with the plants, and get into that meditative space, just tapping into that botanical energy that is so healing and so clarifying and just uplifting and calming at the same time. It just is a wonderful community to be in. It's a wonderful maybe place for people to get together to blend their differences. Let's see what the one that says up here. It says, "You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here." So you are a child of the universe and you have a right to be here. All right, so I'm just going to keep on referring back to myself. But, you know, when I rearranged my office space, was that 2 days ago? Yeah. To like the evening. Okay, whenever I did that, I didn't realize it at the time, but I was anchoring in my energy into this room. And I had this moment where I was like, wow, look at me rearranging shit. It's like I freaking live here. Because there has been part of me that's, you know, felt like I wasn't welcome here anymore. Like, this is my home, you know? And I have every right to be here. Like, I'm sorry my marriage is a failure and it's going down. Like, I still have a right to be here. And yeah, like whenever my husband told me that he wanted a divorce, it was like I felt like I was the one who had to leave, but I don't, bitch. Like, he bought me this house. This house is my engagement ring. Like, I never got an engagement ring. I got a house instead. And when I rearranged my office, it was like a small act that I didn't even realize I was giving to myself. But it was like I had this moment of being like, yeah, I have a right to be here and feel comfortable here and feel like this is my home. And until I decide that somewhere else is my home, this is my home and I have a right to be here. And it's so my home that I will rearrange rooms at will. Like, I didn't start off doing it like that, but I did have that reflective moment that it was like, yeah. And I'm so glad I did, because now I feel more comfortable in this space. Sometimes change is what you need, and it can be a little change or a big change or just rearranging the placement of your desk. Okay, good things take time is our next one. Oh, that's a cool flower. These are all like psychedelic flower designs. Like, one looks like a mandala, one looks like a real interesting, I was going to say clusterfuck of designs. That's what it is. But this one is one flower, and it says, but it's really an intricate flower. A lot of detail, different types of detail. And it says, good things take time. And it is, you know, coming in kind of diagonal with the trout lily, that with a message of patience. So good things take time. Invest in yourself every day. Have that self-love ritual, that self-growth ritual, because you're going to bloom to your fullest potential. It's not going to happen like that. It's going to take a little time. But every day when you do things to sustain you, you just keep on adding to your strength and adding to your growth. And our last little flower, this is a big spread. It says, find peace in the rain. Find peace in the rain. Okay, so what that says to me, that kind of, I think, goes with nettle and the tribulation. If you don't like the rain, still try to find peace within the rain. Even if you don't like your space right now, try to find peace within that, you know? Whatever situation that you have right now, try to find the peace in it. Try to find the magic in it. Try to find the growth in it. Appreciate the mystery of not knowing everything. And yeah, try to find appreciation every day, regardless of where you are. Yeah, so there we have it. It's all about blending differences and clearing space. And getting outside and taking a walk in a garden. And as I look at these cards, what an incredible, diverse garden. We have ferns, we have ghost pipes, we have lady's mantle, we have bearberry, trout lily, wild rose, elder, chicory, nettle, and borage. We have a very interesting garden, here. And just remember that good things do take time. You can find peace in the rain, and you have a right to be here. You're a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars, and you have a right to be here. You came here to do your work, to learn more about yourself, and expand into greater aspects of you. So enjoy this earth experience and, just kind of try to find that magic every day. So do something every day to foster that. So yeah, expanding and smoothing and blending. Oh, can we put taking a nap? All right, you guys, have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. I look forward to telling you all about the things that I did this weekend. Hopefully that's not much. So yeah, enjoy yourself, cater to yourself, clear your space, blend your differences, and add something into your community, something positive into your community, your larger community and your smaller one right at home. Add some good energy in there for sure. So much love to you. Have a beautiful weekend. I'll see you again on Monday at Herb Oracle.